All right. I think I'm live. All right. Hi, everybody. Whoop. Ugh. Jody Bentley here. Hi. Oh, what am I? I am an actor. I am the CEO of Actor Insider and the CEO of the Actor's Office, coming live to you on what is it? It's Friday, August 1st. Coming live to talk about, really for my coffee and coaching hour, which I do on the first and third Fridays of every month, hence August 1st, to answer any and all questions that you have about your acting business. And for those of you who do not know me, but I just want to say hi. Hi, Zarul. Am I saying that right? Hi, Kristen. And we have Real Today. Hello, Real Today. Annabelle. What do we have going on here on Facebook? Let me just make sure that I went live there. I am live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Did I say that right? Yes. I see 3 of my faces in front of me, which is a little distracting. Okay, great. I am live there. All right, perfect. So yeah, Kristen, hey girl, hey, I'm on the plane after getting my headshots. I love it. Congrats, Kristen. Kristen's in my program, the Actors Think Tank, and we've been working on her branding and her headshots. I love it. So I digress. Hi. I am now live on everywhere. So what do I do this? I go live for this coffee and coaching hour where I drink my green tea and we chat about the business. And I want to answer any and all questions that you have about your own acting business, because let's be real, it can be hard. It can be challenging, especially now, right? We don't feel like the industry is fully back to where it was, which we can obviously talk about today. But I go live just to let you know that you are not alone. And I think it's super important to, have coaches in this world. I have mentors, I have coaches, and maybe you're struggling and maybe you need a coach for you in terms of your acting business. So that's why I want to get to know you. I want to answer your questions. I want you to get to know me. And we'll go from there, right? So I just want to be here for you today on this August 1st. I can't believe it is August, number 1. This episodic season has been a bit slow. I've probably only had 3 or 4 TV auditions, though I do see that there's a lot of stuff casting in Los Angeles. Like I was just looking on Casting About, which is a really great research tool. And I think there's I didn't count them, but it looks like at least 30 or 40 TV shows that are currently being cast in Los Angeles. So there is work to be had. It's just there's more of us vying for that work right now because it's not where it was, right? With 70 shows, 80 shows, 100 shows, right? So there are still things happening. So if you're in that story or in that mode of there's nothing, there's no work, Hollywood's dead, nothing's going on, we need to reframe that, because first of all, there are things going on, and either you're going to stay in resistance and complain and play the victim to the circumstance, or we can actually know what's going on. We can collect real-time data of what is happening in your market, whether that's Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, Bulgaria, I don't care where you are. We get to assess the data of what is happening, how many shows are casting, what's coming through the film commissions in each state in the US or in each country. What is going on? There are things that are being done. So the big question is, how do you find those things? Well, I kind of just told you how to find those things. So really the big question is, how do you set yourself up for success to be ready for those opportunities, to compete when they're looking through 2,000 submissions to bring in 20 people for a role? How can you compete? So I think that's where we start to feel defeated, deflated. Let me know how you're feeling right now. Let me know how you're feeling right now. YouTube, let me know how you're feeling. I think I have the chat open there. Yes, I do. YouTube, let me know how you're feeling. Instagram, let me know how you're feeling. Facebook, let me know how you're feeling right now about the state of the industry. Hey, Anne. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Bonfra. Hi, Bonfra. I'm assuming that's not your name, but who knows? Who knows? Let me know how you are feeling right now about your career, about the industry, because I think it's really important that we do start there. Because every time I talk to actors, they're just like, it's slow, it's slow, it's slow. I get it. It feels slower. But what are you going to do about it? Because we can stay in the story of it's slow, it's slow, it's slow, it feels slow, or you can change that for you. Now, I know I say that, right? You can change that for you. I know you're like, Jody, I can't call myself in for TV auditions or leads in feature films. I get it. But there are lots of things that you are in control of to stand out from the noise, to stand out from those thousands of submissions that come in. Kristen says, hopeful, trying to get work done within to be ready when the work comes. Yes, exactly, Kristen. And she got an audition today. Whee! So there are auditions out there. There are things that are happening. I've had clients booking stuff. Like I said, I've had I think I had a commercial audition and a TV audition last week, and I had two TV auditions the week before. There are some things that are happening. Now, this week been crickets. It's just been crickets. It's just where it is, right? It's just where it is. And that's okay. That because we just get to understand the ebb and the flow. But you also got to make sure that you're in the game. And I think that's the thing is sometimes we feel like we're on the outskirts, we're on the outside, and we just want to be on the inside. And I get it. How can you be on the inside? It is by taking back control of your career and focusing on what you can control. Stop being in resistance to the changes of the industry and stop complaining about everything. And I get it. It's hard. I want to have a glass of wine and bitch to my friends too. Like, I get it. But that we can get those feelings out, but the action of that is not going to move you forward. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox. What questions do we have? What questions are going on for you right now? Let me know. Let me know if anything is happening. And it could just be something esoteric, something specific. Let me know what you're thinking and what's going on. Or else I just sit here and talk to myself. So let me know. But I will say this. I've been, for the past 2 months, putting together a very big event. WeAudition has come on as one of our official sponsors. The event is called WeAudition, the SHORTLIST. I have been interviewing 18 industry guests, casting directors, producers, working actors, reps, managers, agents. And it has been eye-opening. And right now it is open for registration. You can find it everywhere. I'll post it on these posts as well. It is completely free. And we have 17 different talks. And it is all about what is happening in the industry now. What does that mean for you? And then what can you do about it? So if you have not signed up for WeAudition the Shortlist, a summit for actors, we have almost 1,000 actors who've already signed up. It is really freaking exciting. I am so excited to share these guests with you, to share their insights, share their knowledge. I will be teaching a live masterclass. I will be going live on Zoom, doing Q&As with you as well. It's going to be an epic event, August 11th through 15th. We have a bonus day on August 10th as well. So I really invite you to sign up for that. I'll make sure to post the link, but I'm sure on Instagram, you can find it in my bio. I'm sure it's on our Facebook group, the Actors Workspace. The banner talks about it. You can click there and click on the link as well. And YouTube, I don't know if I posted on YouTube, so I'll make sure to have it in this chat. But I really invite you to sign up for that, because interviewing those people, I was super motivated. I am still motivated. And I've been interviewing them for like a month and a half. And these talks are so eye-opening and so motivating. So I can't wait for you to actually hear what's going on the other side and stop assuming what you know, what you think is happening on the other side. All right, let me go here. Facebook, Kate. Amazing, Jody. May I ask what made it eye-opening for you interviewing the guests? Anything you can share. The consistency of the messaging. And I kind of, I don't want to give it all away because I want you to hear it from them. Because, it's one thing for me to tell people something, right? And I tell my clients things all the time. And then when I hear when I hear 9 casting directors say the same thing over and over and over again, that I've been saying, I'm like, yeah. But just to hear just the stats, the numbers, what makes them stop and look at a photo when they have 2,000 submissions? What is that? What makes them stop on a self-tape and go, oh, I want to know more? Like they share all of that. So, Kate, I really invite you to tune in and listen. But that's what made it eye-opening and validating, and I gotta just say, really inspiring. And I think that's what we need right now is some hope and inspiration because of that, the heaviness of it feeling different and slow. Right. And look, when we see what's going on, right, I don't know if you guys read about, Warner Brothers splitting their divisions. Right. So now they're going to be Warner Brothers and Discovery Global, I think is what they're calling it. So like that's happening, Paramount and Skydance merger, all these big, huge shifts in our industry, which I know sometimes actors don't pay attention to, but that does affect, it has a trickle down effect onto the risks that our industry is willing to take, that studios and production companies are willing to take. And everyone kind of wants to wait and see where the pieces are falling. So I kind of got off on a tangent here, but just reiterating, and this was something a lot of the guests talked about, is really understanding our industry, knowing what's happening in our industry, getting out of our little audition box and really treating your career like a CEO and someone who knows what's happening. So I think that is really freaking important. So that's what I'll share from that, Kate. And WB, the 11% cuts, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of shifts and changes happening. Like even, I've mentioned this before. My husband is a production accountant for Disney Television. He's been working on a pilot. The pilot is wrapping. They are not moving forward with any of their pilots until 2026. If his show gets picked up, they had 3 new pilots and they might only pick up 2 is what we're hearing. So who knows, right? But so now there's these gaps, there's these lulls. Why is Disney waiting? I'm not sure. Maybe they're waiting to see where the industry's falling, but this is what we just get to pay attention to, is what is happening around us. Because then when you're like, I have no auditions, you're like, okay, well, this huge institution is shifting and laying off 11% of people. This huge institution is merging. We don't know what the fallout is from that. So everyone is in waiting mode. And I know it feels like everyone's been in waiting mode for a very long time. I get it. But that's currently what's happening. So our show's still being cast. Yes, I just said there's probably 30 or 40 in LA. I just looked. I didn't look at what's happening in New York or Atlanta, but a lot of those shows that are even casting in LA are shooting in Atlanta. So there's obviously opportunities there for local hire. I don't know the exact numbers on all of that, but there is stuff. There are projects that are shooting now. So it just goes back to the question of how are you going to be in the mix for those? How are you going to stand out for those? How is your submission going to be paused on, like the guests are saying in this in my summit? So again, if you have not registered for WeAudition, the shortlist, I do invite you to do so. It is completely free. There is a VIP level. You can read about that as well. But I am really excited to share these guests with you. As I said, these conversations were just motivating. I mean, I talked to one casting director for 1 hour and 45 minutes. I think we're just going to post the whole thing because all of it was so good. Some of these interviews were like 90 minutes long. Most of them were 90 minutes long. So yeah, it was really great. So I highly, highly, highly urge you to tune in and watch those. I think it'll, what do I want to say? It'll just shift your mind to understanding the totality of what these people are what our producers looking for, what our directors looking for, what our casting directors looking for, and how to take it out of your head of like, I got to be perfect, into understanding the wholeness and the fullness and the totality of this industry and what they're actually looking for in this industry. So I'm really excited for you to hear all that. Okay. I will get off my soapbox once again. Let's see what else. Oh, Kate says hope and inspirations. Yes, hope and inspirations. All right. Kate says there are a few things shooting here in New York. I am talking union stuff. Yes. Yeah. So there are, look, we know things are happening. It just feels less. And if you're not getting the auditions, that is something for you to start examining. You got to take a step back. And I say this a lot. You got to take a 10,000 foot view on your own career and go, what is working? What is not? What is missing? What's in the gap? What can I change? What am I in control of? Like, you get to be the biggest sleuth of your industry. I can't tell you how many clients I even work with who sign with agents. And I would say 99.9% of people who go through my program sign with agents or managers. And they get their agent or manager. And they're like, Jody, thank you so much. I got my agent. Goodbye. And I'm like, wait. The work starts now. Now is when the real work starts. Now is where the strategy comes in. Now is how, it's about your strategy of building relationships and networking and communicating with your team and your reps and working together to build your career. I think too many times actors think I got my agent, check, and they sit back and they wait. when that is the exact time you need to be in action, the exact time where you need to be proactive, not reactive. So it just all comes down to strategy. I forgot where my thought was at the top of that. Anyway, there we go. Oh, one of the interviews in the summit is with my own manager, and she just talks about how to be that client that the manager wants to fight for, that they believe in, that they commit to. And that's huge. That's huge. All right. Bonfra, I wish I knew what your real name was. It's mostly because the industry is contracting from technology taking jobs away. Yes and no. Okay. Technology has yet to take away acting jobs. Now, let me surround that with some other thoughts. Indie film is still being cast. Television shows are still being cast. That's still human actors going into those auditions. The contraction is purely financial. It is purely financial because business models of Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Apple TV, they've expanded so far, they've stopped making money that they're contracting. So it has not necessarily to do with technology taking things away. It's almost like, the 2008 housing crash, right? Things got so big that it had to contract. And that's kind of what happened with the amount of money all these streamers were spending and then realizing, oh, that's not sustainable, right? So there's that. So is AI taking over certain, maybe, I'm forgetting what we even call that. I'm blanking on the name of that voiceover industry. Is AI taking over certain parts of the industry? Not taking over. No, they're not taking over. Are some audiobook some authors choosing to have a virtual voice? Sure. Are they selling well? I don't think so. I really don't. I haven't looked at all the data and the numbers, but I just recorded an audiobook last month. A lot of my clients work in audiobooks. I just had one that just said she booked a whole series of 6 books. So there's still humanity there. So I think when we start worrying about AI taking it away, yes, we need to put in protections. Yes, that's what our union is doing. Yes to all of that. But we can't worry about AI taking away our jobs. It's not. Tech is not taking away our jobs. There still will be acting jobs. Will there be less? Sure, we're already feeling that, right? Now, will studios create divisions purely based on technology and AI? Yes. I just read that AMC will be streaming an AI short film festival, films that were purely made using AI, and AMC is streaming it. That's huge. This is what I'm talking about, of staying in the know of our industry. So that is huge. That's something we need to clock and we need to know. Now, will that take away? No, the people making these AI movies, they might not have been directors working with actors. They could be, who knows? So I don't want to go to the place of technology is taking everything away, because it's not, right? That is an extremist attitude, and that is a fear-based attitude. And I don't want to play into that, but I want to be cognizant and aware, and idealistic and realistic about what is happening. But I guarantee you this contraction is not necessarily because of technology. I mean, look, studios are figuring out how to use this technology. Oh, but there was something big that dropped, and now I'm forgetting what it was. That one studio was refusing to use Sora and refusing that. They were pitching, like Sora was pitching to all these studios, and they were like, no. So look, this is still going to keep unfolding, right? And Buffer says, yeah, the industry is not being consumed in the same way it used to be. The industry, I will say this: moviegoers, that stat is going back up, right? That statistic was way down of people actually going to the movies, and now that has been increasing, right? But generationally is what we get to look at. Are Gen Zers going to the movies? No, they're watching shit on their phone. Right. So we got to look at the generations. And now all studios they're money people, right? They're like, okay, if Gen Zers or Alpha isn't going to the movie theater, they got to create content for them. And that's why these verticals now is a whole new thing. These verticals, a lot of studios are doing these, and they're non-union at the moment. We will start to see that ebb and flow, I am sure. But Martha, I love where your mind is going, and I love how you're thinking about this. And this is just really an invitation for everyone to start thinking this way, to start being curious about what is going on. Because if we can be curious about what is going on, if you can read Deadline or Variety or Playbill if you're in theater and understand what is happening, that's just going to put you in a position of power. So you're not going, woe is me, I have no auditions, drinking a bottle of wine on a Saturday night, right? That you get to understand what's really going on in the industry. Right. And it's no wonder Broadway had one of its best years this year. Well, 2024, right? Into the 2025 Tony season. It's no wonder we're seeing a huge surge in theater right now in response, Bonfra, to the contraction of the film and television industry, right? So now there's a boom in the theater industry, and that's coming back after COVID. So we're seeing all these ebbs and flows, but I think it's really important to just pay attention and understand. All right, let me know what you're thinking about what I'm talking about. Let me come over here to Facebook. Okay. Again, we know the thing on Facebook, unfortunately, in the Facebook group, the Actors Workspace, I only see 4 comments at a time. So if I've missed your thing, but please post again. Kate, yeah, the sitting back and waiting thing is real. I must be more engaged for sure. I think you had a question, Kate. I looked at it and it popped away from my screen just now because I can't see all comments for whatever reason. I think you asked about the industry guests. They're from LA, New York, and Atlanta. So it's a little LA heavy. That's where I am now. And that's where a lot of my connections were. But I have 2 New York casting directors. I have a New York Broadway producer. I have an Atlanta casting director, an Atlanta agent. What else was it? We're the directors. Oh, one of the directors is in Chicago now. One is in Ohio, one is in Los Angeles. So yeah, they're kind of, I tried to make it as diverse as I could based in my contacts and who I knew and reaching out. But yeah, so there is that. Okay, John, what do you know about Albuquerque opportunities? I don't know, John. It's definitely not a market that I'm working in right now. What I would do is look at the New Mexico Film Commission and see what's going on. I know that there's a lot of stuff that was happening there. I know, I was just speaking with a production company for the film that I wrote, and they were just last year shooting a huge movie with Guy Pearce and somebody else in New Mexico. I don't know if it was Albuquerque specific, but I know a lot of stuff does happen there. A lot of my clients have New Mexico agents. I have clients who solely live in New Mexico and work there. So I would just look at the New Mexico Film Commission and see what's going on there. Let's see. I signed up for the event. So that will probably answer my questions. Awesome. I love it. Kate says, sounds great. Kate, it's just like when the silent movies had to go into the talkies. Exactly, Kate. I've been saying the same thing. A huge shift. The industry continues to evolve. That's what we get to remember, right? I think right now, because we're in it, we're like, oh shit. The industry's contracting. That's never happened before. When the industry has constantly evolved, right? It went from went from black and white to color, silent to talkies, movies to 3D. Everyone thought, go back and read about it. Everybody thought that 3D movies were going to kill the entire movie industry and that only people who could afford to do 3D movies or see 3D movies, that was going to be the new thing. That's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. So I think it's important to realize that we've constantly been evolving. Oh, like when we went from actual film, 8mm film to digital, right? That was crazy. That was crazy for filmmakers and for our industry. And that I thought, oh, the industry's not gonna be real anymore. The film makes it feel like humanity, right? All of these things. So I think it's really important to understand that the industry has constantly evolved. I remember when there were black and white headshots. I still have mine. Maybe I'll share them with you one day. I still have my black and white headshots, right? I had, when I was in New York, I had do you guys remember, what was it called? What was it called? Not a pager. It's like a call service. I had a call service number. Who remembers bells are ringing? Anybody remember bells are ringing? It was like a service that people would call to get your audition because you didn't want to give away your home phone number. So you paid for the service and then they would like page you. This was before cell phones, you guys. I'm dating myself. But the industry has constantly evolved. That's what we get to remember, right? It's constantly evolving. What happens is we get stuck and we hold on. So right now, for those of you in resistance, if you're still resistant to self-tapes, if you're in resistance to the slowness, if you're just complaining, you are in resistance. Resistance will stop forward growth and forward movement. We've been changing and growing since the dawn of time, since the dawn of the movie industry, right? So I think we just need to keep going keep going, right? Keep going, keep expanding, pay attention, see where this takes us, be agile within all of this. All right. Let me see. Yeah, the whole film to video. Kate says me. I knew you'd remember, Kate. I knew you'd remember. I don't know. I feel like I didn't use Bells Are Ringing because it was too expensive. I think I used the cheaper knockoff version of the service number. That's so funny. I still remember my service number. Isn't that crazy? 212-358-5893. I mean, that doesn't work, so I can say it. But I loved my service number. I loved having a 212 number. I thought I was fancy in my 20s. Ay. All right, I've just spewed answering services. Thank you, Kate. I'm like, cell service. Nope, that's not it. Answering services. Oh my God. Too funny. The point is we've evolved. I will get off my soapbox. No one's asking me questions today. What is happening? Maybe because I've been venting for 30 minutes. All right. What is going on with you? No, that's not true. Move on for ask questions. Kate asked questions. What is going on? What is happening? How can I support you? What's something you're curious about? Oh my God, Kate, I still have my old black and white postcards with my old service number on them. I think I have one postcard somewhere. I was going through my photos and archives the other day. Amanda, still have my black and white headshots too. I love it. I love it. I will do I think in my Facebook group, I'll do a post our black and white headshots day. That will be fun to see. That will be fun to see. Some of mine are awful, just awful. It was before I knew anything about who I was, what I was selling, thought I was a product, before I knew anything that I teach now. The headshots. Ooh wee. See, we all grow and evolve. We all grow and evolve, right? Reframe only one. I don't know what that meant. What did that mean, Kate? Oh, she has to hop off. Thanks always. Okay. Give us all hope. Oh, thanks, Kate. All right. Okay. Let's see. Bonfra, what's your real name? Let me know. What do you feel is the growing trend or demographic shift in consumer taste? Oh gosh. I mean, I don't necessarily spend my time looking at that. I will say, I would just say trends you're noticing. I think the trends that have been happening now for a while are these huge franchise movies. The Supermans, the Marvels, the 14 million incarnations of Marvel, the TV series of Loki and this and that, right? And I've watched all of them. I enjoy them. But we just saw, what the hell did we just see? We saw Superman and, Fantastic Four. By the way, I see a lot of movies. I go to the movies a lot. I think it's important to stay on top of things. I watch a lot of television. I don't know how, when, and I have time to. Thank God my husband is our entertainment director. We pick shows. He's like, tonight we're watching this episode while we eat, or we're watching this. I'm like, great, babe, let's do it. But I think it's important to stay in the know of what's the trends of Apple TV. What are the trends in Hulu? What kind of shows are they putting out? What kind of shows is Amazon putting out that's different than Netflix? I think it's really important to understand that. Like, I know for me, Apple TV is my network. Apple TV is my network. I'm going to focus on those shows and those casting directors because they tell the themes of the stories I want to tell. It's important to be in the know of that. So I will, going back to trends, I will say the trends have been these franchise movies, spin-off, right? Sequel. And, did I enjoy Fantastic Four? Did I enjoy Superman? Sure. It's impressive, right? A lot of it's impressive. What I'm noticing in myself, and when I have conversations with people, I'm noticing the same thing, is that I think and we could use the word contracting, I suppose, right? I feel like contracting into, for me, it's like, yeah, okay, it's fun, but it doesn't feel fulfilling to me now. And I think it's happening with a lot of people where I'm missing, and I think that's why I'm digging a lot of the Apple TV stuff right now, right? Is that I'm missing projects, films, series that are about relationships, that are about people, that are about connection, humanity and not saving humanity, just about like a human to human interaction. That's why I think we're really seeing a rise in indie film. When I look at other things that are out there, I notice a lot of it are playing to the Gen X demographic. I'm Gen X. And I think a lot of it, that's why, like the remake of this from then, all these musicals coming to Broadway, like Dirty Dancing on Broadway or this on Broadway, right? Like all these things. It's like, Dirty Dancing came out a while ago on Broadway. But this, all this, yeah, Helene says the same, right? But I do think they're recognizing that they're like, okay, how can we get Gen X to feel nostalgia about their childhood? So I feel like there's been a trend towards that. My film that I wrote is geared towards a Gen X audience of aging parents. What does that mean? What are we going through, right? Coming at it from a more relatable humanity place. But that's what I'm feeling now is like, a lot of times we're like, it was good. Yeah. Oh, those effects were great. Oh, it was fun. Oh yeah. Pedro Pascal's great. Right. But I feel like there's this missing thing of, God, I just want to see real people on the screen having real life shit happen to them, So I do feel like that is a trend right now. Consumer taste overall, I don't spend my time researching that. That would be a great question to ask ChatGPT, see what's going on, see what's happening right now. Doing some research on that would be a really great question. But that's what studios are constantly looking at, right? But they also know that they make money from these big budget movies. So that's why they're putting them out there. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're going, okay, how can we sell to Gen Z? Right? How can we sell to millennials? How can we sell to Gen X? And they're building product around that. But I feel like what they're missing right now is just this core humanity thing. Though there was a trailer I just saw for a movie with Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie, and I don't remember the name of it. And I was like, oh, I want to see that. And I just saw The Life of Chuck. If you didn't see that, go see it. Beautiful movie with Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, go see that. Yeah, Amanda, my pilot too, real people, real human connection, real life situations. Yes. And I think this is why there is a surge of indie film, right? Is we want to see the reality of life, right? Go look back at what won the Oscar, Anora, whether you liked that movie or not like that movie. It was about real people in, kind of a crazy situation, but it was still about real people in real life situations with trauma and pain, right? And I think I do think there's a pendulum swing back to that. What I think is missing in this equation is the studios thinking they can make money from that, right? So I think that's where the disconnect is right now and why it feels like a push and pull. But this is just my opinion, my assessment. I would have to do a lot more research on it, but just in general, that's what I see and that's what I feel and that's what I hear. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know. I think it's a really interesting question. But again, that's why all these verticals, right, have really popped up because that's how a lot of these alpha and Gen Zers are consuming content. So I'll be curious to see the evolution of those because what was it? I think pre-COVID, there were apps that were released. I'm forgetting what it was called. And it was doing verticals. And then COVID happened and everyone was at home. So they were watching streamers. They were on TV. They were watching TV. They weren't on their phones. And I remember that company like had all this money behind it. It was like backed by people in France and the US. And it was like really pushing these verticals. There were even like celebs that were on some of these shows that they were pushing out. And I wish I could remember the name, what it was called. But then it completely failed because then everyone was at home and everyone was home watching television. So now the rise of the verticals have happened again. We're back in the world. The Gen Z and the Alpha have been on their iPads and their phones forever. And so now we're like, okay, how can they market to those people? But there's no contracts around those verticals yet. They're all non-union. So there is absolutely no union jurisdiction around it. And some of these, now there's these small pop-up companies that are doing it. So we'll be curious to see if larger production companies follow in suit or what happens. So that's, again, trends. Something to pay attention to, right? I have some non-union clients who they book those back to back to back to back to back, right? There's a lot of work in verticals right now. And I think we will see that expanding. Again, I feel like I've been talking for 45 minutes straight. But is this interesting to you? Please tell me if this is interesting to you. I think it's important. It's important to assess. It's important to know. It's important to be aware. Like we get to do these things. Like if you're calling yourself an actor, you're a business owner and you can't be a business owner who doesn't understand what's happening in their business and not just your business, You got to know what that is, right? You got to understand your own stats and your ROI and what's working and what's not in your own business. But you also get to do that in the business at large and understand the bigger trends of the industry. Yeah. You said that people are going back to 2-hour movies and that theater is growing. So it seems like the real people quality is there and staying. I do think so. I do think so. It's not going away. Okay. It's not going away. Like I said, will there be AI divisions? Is there this AI short film festival? Yes, these things are happening. But if we just look at the numbers and the trends, and even just Google movie stats from 2024 to 2025, you'll see that it has been on a growth trajectory. So things are happening. I even read an article, and I can't remember the absolute specifics. I was trying to share it with my husband, and I'm like, why didn't I save this article? AMC has IMAX. AMC has IMAX, right? And we love seeing movies in IMAX, especially like Fantastic Four or something big like that. We always go into the bigger IMAX theaters or the Dolby or whatever, right, to see those. But IMAX is solely an AMC thing. So all the other theater chains, I read this article that Regal, why am I blanking? I'm blanking on every other name of movie chain, but you get my point, that all these other movie chains have gotten together and going, let us create something like IMAX to bring more viewership to their movie theaters. So movie theaters are even now like, how can we even build our growth even more? How can we compete with IMAX? Because AMC has really taken over with so much stuff, right? I love my AMC Movie Pass. But that's just another thing to look out for, because if they're going to be creating something that's in competition with IMAX, we could bring more viewership to theaters, right? Because there's not an AMC everywhere. So anyway, again, just really, we got to stay in the know. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm happy to be your foray into that. I'm happy to share my knowledge. Of course, that's what I do. But it's really important for you to understand how this business works. It's like if I wanted to be, a hedge fund manager, but I didn't understand the totality of the global markets and how the financial markets worked. Doesn't matter if I understand just what I know here. I need to know the totality of things. And that's kind of what I'm saying to you, is we do get to understand the totality of the industry and how it works and how all those trends affect you on a micro level, because they do. All right. What else? What else is going on? Let's see. YouTube has been very quiet today. I don't think let me see. Live chat. No, yeah, I don't see. Yeah, YouTube has been very quiet today. All right, that's all right. What's happening? What else we got going on? What other questions are brewing in your brains? But so to that end of understanding our industry, that is why I put together WeAudition, the shortlist. For really to give you some insider information, insider knowledge of what is happening with casting directors. How has it affected their business? What is happening with directors? What is happening with producers? What are they really looking for? What do the shifts in the industry mean to them? And you know what? What's really interesting, I know we started talking about AI and tech. AI came up in one conversation out of 17 different talks, because they're not concerned about it. They're concerned about what they can control in the moment. And yes, again, protections, all of that, right? And a couple of them were talking about even at the CSA, being on diversity committees, right? Focusing on that, being on tech committees, focusing on that. Like some of them talked about that, but it didn't come up in their day-to-day business of what they were focusing on. So it was really interesting. Hi, Earth Moon Wellbeing. Hi, Anna. Thank you for joining. All right. So yes, if you haven't signed up yet for WeAudition, the shortlist, again, it is free. There is a VIP ticket. If that interests you, you're going to read all about that. We got some really cool VIP perks though. But that's going to happen August 11th through 15th. And I have 18 industry guests, me, 5 working actors, sharing information with you. It's going to be pretty epic. As I said, we have about over 1,000 people already signed up. So I really invite you to get on that. And if the link is, and we'll make sure that the link is visible for you to see it. Here, I can write it in the chat on YouTube. It is summit.actor-insider.com. It's not too hard. Summit.actor-insider.com. All right, Amanda, I spent a ton of time researching angel investors before I started fundraising with a lot of dead ends. How are you able to find for your project? Is it previous relationships? So the development money I closed on my feature film. So just to fill people in, if you don't know my story, I've been writing a feature film. Well, it started off as a pilot, turned into a feature. We've now closed development money. I have a producer on board. I have a director on board. We're doing one final pass of the script with our director, tightening things up. And then we'll be taking it out to investors. My film is about a $2.5 million movie. I've closed development money so that way I can, I started my LLC for the film. I'll be bringing on board the casting director very soon for the film so that we can reach out and get some name actors attached. So in terms of funding, that development money did come from someone that I knew. So there was that. My investors, when I go out to them, I will start with the ones that I know. But I also have leads. I have people in my circle who are connected to investors. So that's what I've spent my time doing, is just talking about my film, talking about my film, talking about my film. That's how I got my producer, was just talking about my film, or we're talking about the industry with her. And I didn't realize that she was producing and was connected to money and, bigger production companies. So that's how she came on board, right? I was like, I have a script, and she read it and she loved it. And then that's how that happened. So it's for me, Amanda, it's been talking about it unapologetically everywhere. But then starting with my contacts, but then talking about it and having someone go, oh, I know this person. Oh, I could connect you with this person. Oh, I know this person. And I will say it's also knowing when the time is right. Like our script was tight, and then I did a bunch of coverage. I got a bunch of notes. I did a bunch of things. Our script was really tight. The producer cried when she read it. Got the director on board. Then we sat down and we gave it to someone else to read it. Like another, could potentially just be like a script doctor to tighten it even more. And it wasn't that it needed to be tightened even more. It was, he gave some notes on deepening certain sections. So now we're back because we want this script to be top notch before sending it out. So our goal now is to finish this pass of the script by Labor Day. And then in September, October, be really hitting all the investor contacts. So I got to make sure my pitch is ready. I got to sure my deck is ready. My one sheet's ready. My script is ready. Yeah. So it's no joke. It's a lot of work. I'll say that. That's why most people don't do it, is because it's a lot of work. But yeah, I mean, it started with what I know. And Amanda, I hear you. I've been doing a lot of research on angel investors for my software. I have a software that I developed called the Actor's Office. It's a relationship and audition tracker. We're up, we're out. We have, I don't even know, hundreds of actors using it right now. But in order for me to do what I really want to do with it and take it to the next level, I need an angel investor. So I too, Amanda, have been spending a lot of time researching angel investors, building my business plan for that. And it's a slow process. It's just a slow process. Yeah. All right. Anna says she can't wait. Can't wait for the short list is what I'm assuming. We auditioned the short list. Yay. And there's lots of prizes. I will say I have 18 industry guests, and 12 of them have donated an hour of their time in our VIP giveaway. So there's a chance to win one of 12 one-on-one sessions with either an agent, a casting director, a director, or a producer. And these are all real powerhouses. So I was really thrilled that they in touch that they donated their time. So that's why the VIP is worth it. That's why the VIP is worth it. All right. What else? Oh my God, it's 10:47. This time is flying by. Hi, Bob. Bob says hello on YouTube. Hi, Bob. All right. What else is going on? What other thoughts? What other questions? How can I support you? Amanda, one thing on LinkedIn, there are a lot of film investment groups. I haven't started posting in there yet or really looking at how it could best serve me in my project, but I joined all the groups. So I would go in LinkedIn and look at some of these film investing groups. Just go on my LinkedIn. You can see which groups I've joined. I think that's public information to everybody. And just join some of those groups and see. Like I said, I haven't gotten to the point yet to do blind cold pitchings. I want to get my tools in order and my script in order. So I haven't researched the group yet to fully know, but I would go there and look at that. All right. What else? What else is going on? I've hardly drank my green tea. I'm running out of things to talk about. Oh my gosh, somebody asked me a question. My brain is imploding. It's been so much work putting this summit together. These past 2 weeks especially, like I am exhausted. It was so much work and still more work to be done, to put all the finishing touches on it before we launch on August 11th. But it's so just thrilled and so yeah, just freaking thrilled about everything. But I'm just tired, so my brain just had a brain fart. Is basically what happened. All right, Bonfra. Theater being a big part of honing an actor's skill is growing. Anything you feel should be mentioned. Theater. Can you ask me more of a specific question around that? I mean, look, theater is great. I started in theater. I'm missing theater. I want to go back to theater. One of my goals this year, which I've yet to do, is build my musical theater reel and get that out there. But priority, I'm going to get some new headshots in September. So maybe October, November, I can get that together. But what do you, so I do think theater is big in honing an actor's skills for sure, right? There's nothing like theater. It's a totally different skill set than auditioning for film and television. It's a totally different skill set than being on a set. So I guess, yeah, what's your specific question in there? Give me something else more specific to chat about, because I don't want to just give blind information that everyone gets to do theater if that's not your passion. Do you know what I mean? One of the big things that came up with my producer panel as well is that actors don't understand set and understand what being on a set means. That was a big thing. So yeah, I think it depends on what you want. What are your goals? Where are you marketing yourself? What is your passion? What's your vision for your life and your career? If theater is in there, great. You know, I went to NYU. I went to one of the top 3 acting schools in the country. It's your School of the Arts. I thought when I graduated, I would be on Broadway in a year and like life would be great because of the school I had on my resume. And that's not how it worked. Yes, New York appreciated my training, but it's not, I mean, unless it's like Yale, Juilliard, you know, like those 2 open doors. Do you know what I mean? Everything else, it's like theater skills are great. And what are your goals? Is that going to move the needle on your career in terms of your personal goals for yourself as an artist? You know, I think it's, we got to make those choices because you can't focus on everything. We can't focus on everything all at once. You got to start with 1 or 2 things, build up that part of your career. It's like now I do film, television, theater, audiobooks. I write, I produce, right? I have 6 or 7 different areas that I focus on, but I didn't start focusing on them all at once. I built one, got that plate spinning, built another, got that plate spinning, built another, got that plate spinning. So if theater is where you want to be, then you definitely need to hone your skill in theater for sure. But if you're really a film actor or a TV actor, you might not necessarily need that. However, if you're looking at sitcoms, they like and they look at a lot of people that have improv experience or potentially theater experience or potentially musical theater experience, right? Because especially when it's a live audience, right? It's that theater background kicks right in again. So it's really understanding what it is that you want, what's the medium you want to be booking in, and then what are the skills that you need for that. Yeah, I don't want to just give a generalized thing of everyone should do this and everyone should do that. All right, what else we got? But that's a great question. Again, I like how your brain is thinking. I think it's really important to ask these bigger questions. Again, understand the industry at large, understand all of that. Theater today, like you said, is still the most traditional real human experience. Would you feel that in today's production climate, actors should lean into that? Understood. Well, that is why I'm getting my materials together to reopen my theater career. 1, because I miss it. 2, because I love it. 3, because I don't think it's going anywhere. So I do think that's a big part of it, right? I think it's important to, like I said, we got to focus on one thing at a time, but I also feel like it's important to diversify, you know, like when the strikes happened, for example, My husband is a production accountant. He works for Disney. I'm an actor. I have a business that coaches actors. All of a sudden, everything shut down, and we both have the realization of, wow, all of our money is tied into one industry. So that's just like, okay, how can we diversify that? And we haven't yet because we both love what we do. But we're like, ooh, it's just good information, right? So yes, how you're thinking, right? That experience is not going away. There's a huge boom in theater right now. Is that something you love to do? Hone your skills on it. Or is it not something that you love? How can you love it? What do you love about it? Is there a way in for you? So I'm not telling everybody to do it. I think it's important that we get to do what we love, or else we're just going to get bitter, jaded, and burnt out. But I do feel like the theater is not going away. That live experience is not going away. So that is one reason why I'm picking up the ball on that for sure. I had wanted to start doing that at the end of last year. But then things took over like a summit to put on for you guys, where I got distracted from building some of those tools. But because I've been putting it out in the world and I've been talking about it and I've been reconnecting with my theater people, I actually flew to New York and did a reading of a new musical this year. So that did happen. So I am getting my toes back in there. And I do think that it's important. I do think it's important. Thank you for the clarification. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Patricia. Nice to see you. What else? What other questions we have? We have a few minutes left. Let me know if anyone has any burning questions. But if you're just tuning in, go back and listen to this when I post it. This was a really, what do I want to say? Just overall view of the industry, right? And really understanding what's going on in our industry and how it affects you. And I think that's really vital and a huge missing piece of the puzzle for most actors. I think it's important to stay on top of that information. So if you're just tuning on in, hi, I'm Jody Bentley. We're closing here in 5 minutes, but I do invite you to go back and rewatch. Because we talk a lot about the industry trends, what is happening, what does that mean for you? And again, that is a huge piece of the business, of your business, that I think most actors gloss over and don't pay attention to. But that's going to get you out of victim mentality and really into ownership and really position you in a place of power and understanding how to move forward. Yeah. All right. What else? Any other last minute questions before we wrap it up? Call it a morning here in Los Angeles, an afternoon on the East Coast, and an evening in Europe. Let me know if anything else is burning for you. But I will say once again, for those of you just tuning on in, make sure to go sign up for WeAudition the Shortlist. I brought together 18 industry guests, 5 working actors, to really dive deep onto the state of our current industry, how it's shifted for casting directors, directors, producers, reps, and what that means for you. So I really invite you to tune on into that. Amanda says, great information today, Jody. Thank you. Very beneficial. You're so welcome, Amanda. You're so welcome. I do love coming on here and chatting with you. As I said, I've been a career coach for actors since 2008. I have clients in 17 countries now, probably more. I just had a bunch of people sign up from the Philippines for my summit. So I think I've probably expanded now into 18, maybe 19 countries. But I've been doing this for a long time, and I pride myself on it and how I've supported actors since 2008. I'm still a working actor. I am in the trenches with you. I understand it. Let's see. Bob, I tried to go to the website. It seems to be missing a security certificate. No. Thank you. It might just be your browser, Bob. I'll double check. I'm using a software called Hey Summit, which has made it very easy to structure my summit and for you all to access it. I can reach out to them and make sure that that's on there. But I know, yeah, I will double check. But thank you for pointing that out, Bob. Thank you for pointing it out. But yes, this software is really amazing. The company's been really amazing. I know it's all protected in terms of the financial transactions if you choose to upgrade to VIP. But thank you for pointing that out to me. All right, Amanda, you're only 21, right? Amanda says you're only 21. How is that possible? Oh, Amanda, I got good lighting and good skincare, but I refuse to do Botox. Damn it. All right, team. So great to have this conversation with you today. I really acknowledge you all for showing up and for being present and for wanting to move forward, right? And taking the action. Because I think it's so, again, it's easy to play the victim to the industry right now. So I really acknowledge you for not doing that. And again, urge you to sign up for WeAudition the shortlist, because it's going to be a lot of information. We launch with a bonus day on August 10th. With a talk up from me about how the industry has changed, and a talk from my manager about how to be the rep that how to be the client that reps champion. So, all right. So that is it. I'm going to tune off. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. All right. Goodbye, Instagram. Let's see. How do I get rid of YouTube? Goodbye, YouTube. I don't know how to end it. Hold on. End stream. There we go. Goodbye, YouTube. And goodbye.